Good evening, folks. Good evening. Good evening. This is Marcia Weeks. I know it's a little dark where I am. I don't have enough lighting, but I just felt to come on tonight um, and just to say hello to everybody and for us to talk about this issue with Ralph Thorne. I hope you can see my face because as it stands right now, I can't even see my eyes properly, but I'm hoping that you can see me. And we are on live tonight. I see that there are people that are on, and I don't see anybody in the comment section, but I can tell that people are on. And I was hit with the news this evening that the application of Mr. Ralph Thorne to the Democratic Labour Party has been deferred, deferred. And the comment I got was that it is too contentious. Now, for those of you who are joining us for the first time or might not know what is happening in Barbados, what has occurred is that Rod Thorne, who is a BLP member of parliament, decided on last Friday to cross the floor. He was sworn in as the leader of opposition on Tuesday of this week. Subsequent to that, he chose his senators. And the senators that he chose, they are Ryan Walters, who is is a member of the DLP, and also Trisha Watson, who is an advocate for the people of Barbados as it relates to the Barbados Light and Power. She goes as a go-between and stands there in the gap there for the people of Barbados, and that's how I see her. I see her as an advocate, and I think that I commend Trisha Watson for the work that she does. I don't see Trisha Watson as a political figure at all. She's an attorney at law and who has stuck her neck out there for the people of Barbados to be that between them and the Barbados Light Power and the kind of service that we get and for the cost and so on, the price of electricity, etc., etc. So she is that go-between person, okay? Now, when Mr. Ralph Thorne was interviewed, he said that he doesn't want to work outside of a party. He believes that he wants to work within a party. And so today we are seeing almost 1 week, 1 week and a day from the time that it was announced that Mr. Thorne had crossed the floor, because it was Saturday. We heard about it Friday night, but in Saturday morning when we got up, we heard, we saw it in the newspaper and it was confirmed that he had crossed the floor. Now, today, there was a meeting today, and there was supposed to have been a press conference this evening for the consideration. The meeting was where the executive of the Democratic Labour Party met today at their branch there in George Street, and they had their closed meeting because it's the exec, and they decided that they would defer Ralph Thorne's application. Now, what I want to say to you is that Mr. Thorne had applied to the DLP to become a member or readmission, really, because he was part of the DLP before. And he would have chosen senators who are also DLP. But in a strange turn of events today, the DLP has said they're going to defer this application. They're going to defer voting on whether um, Mr. Thorne would be admitted as a member of the Democratic Labour Party. Now that I've given you um, the overview of everything, let me just welcome those who are on. Diana Rogers, good night. Tim Ward is watching from Canada. Marcy, good evening, Marcy. Great to see you. Marcy is saying, and Sir Alfred again from New York. I'm not normally on a Saturday. You all know that, but I think that this was important enough to be on tonight. Zaire Campbell is on, and refreshments. Yes, refreshment says, good night, Marcia. We are here. Thanks for coming on tonight. I'm only on for the most 1 hour because, you know, we're preparing for tomorrow is a big day. Is a big day on the motorcade tomorrow. Yeah. Dale Rail, say good night to everyone. Forward movement, blessings, good night. Richard Mears, Dale Rail again, Mervyn Marius, yes. Zaire Campbell is saying, I don't believe it is a party as a whole. There are some bullies spilling over. If Zaire could explain what he or she means by that, Zaire, I think that might be, is that a male name? I'm not sure. Good night, DeVere. Yes, Sir Alfred is wondering who made that decision. Well, that decision would have been made by the executive of the Democratic Labour Party. As you know, the president of the party is Mr. Dr. Ronald Yerwood. And I know that for sure one of the vice presidents is Felicia DeJohn is a vice president. Yeah. So it would be, you know, all of the exec. And if someone who is listening can let me know how many persons are part of, yeah. Well, you know, Wayne is saying Ralph moved too quick in signing up for a party. Why do you say that, Wayne? I want to hear from you. Now, Wayne, if we think about it, he did say, and one of the things I like about Mr. Thorne, you know what I like about it? He's not playing games with the people. You know how some politician will answer you, but they don't really answer you. You know, when they asked him, "Are you going to join a party?" He was very, very clear in his answer, and he said, "Why not naming the party?" He said that he believes that he wants to do what he has to do in the confines of a party. That is what he wants to do. What he wants to do is in the confines of a party. He believes that he will have a stronger presence of the people of Barbados within a party. If you remembered Wayne Hoyt, what happened to Reverend Atherley when he left, when he crossed the floor, he formed his own party, which was UPP. Right? Is it UPP? Am I saying that right? Which one is UPP? I think it's UPP that he formed. And I don't know why I feel like I'm getting that wrong. Later on, he joined with Lynette Eastman and formed APP. But it didn't go anywhere because the people in Barbados, Mr. Hoyt, like you and I, we do not tend to vote for third parties. And so while it is easy for us to say, you know, he should not sign up for a party, the reality is, will he be able to do the job that he has to do outside of a party? Just a question. Just a question, or outside of one of those parties, right? Can he really? Do we really want to? If we want to get rid of this government, Do we see any formidable third party at the moment to be able to do that? Just wondering. What do you think are his options? What if the DLP says no, we don't want you? What does he do? What do you think? Let me see. Zaire Campbell said this needs to stop before we have another 1937. Yeah, I think that the people are getting frustrated. Um, yeah. Deferred with reason, based on what I'm hearing, is for further consultation. I wonder what is the consultation. Normally, when someone applies to the Democratic Labour Party, the question, Pamela, is it normally like this? I know that people are begging people to join the Democratic Labour Party. Let's be real, right? So let's you and I act like we don't know what the issue is, but you know that they are running down people to become a member of the Democratic Labour Party. And so if you said it's deferred with reason, I wonder what the reason is. And I am pretending I don't know. Is it that this gentleman has a criminal record? Is it that this gentleman would bring disgrace to the party? Pamela, what is the reason? Yeah, what is the reason? And Mervyn Marius is saying it's unfortunate. Somebody says saying that um, that they are disappointed. Loyal daughter 66 says, good night, Marcy. I'm most disappointed. Um, why are you so disappointed? Why people think it's unfortunate? Um, yes, Joseph Cadogan is in Grenada and he's saying thanks for the news. And Joseph, I know you told me you can't be at the motorcade. As you know, we will be talking about this tomorrow on the motorcade, right? So if you don't see the regular people on tonight, well, we're all getting ready and with family and so on. But I thought I needed to come on and have a chat with you all because I know that people feel a way about it. Hey, I'm Naam from Trinidad. So, Naam, what's happening is that, we always had no opposition, but we now have a leader of the opposition because one of the government members of parliament for the BLP government, they have crossed the floor. And so we now have a leader of opposition, which we're very, very grateful for. What has occurred in 1 week is that the party that he's applied to, they have deferred his application, right? And yeah, Everton Hunt is saying, good night, Mr. Thorne will be admitted. I wonder, how sure are you about that? What if he's unable to meet the requirements of the the DLP executive? What if he's unable to do that? Chesterfield is saying, you will never be the government again, so go blow it. Did Yearwood application be deferred before he joined? Rather, it went straight to the top. Rid yourself of being thin-skinned and ego. Okay, who are you talking about there? And so you're saying what I gathered from that is that Mr. Yearwood, who was a member of the Barbados Labour Party, he and his entire family, all these years, when he applied to the Democratic Labour Party. I don't know what the process is, but this person is saying that his application was not deferred, even though he was also a member of the Barbados Labour Party. And so he came over and ran in that in one election, and then did pretty good, but he didn't win a seat. And then that's when Berla de Pisa was the president. And I must say, thank God for Berla de Pisa, who really picked up that party. I mean, it takes a woman to step up to something like that because it was in shambles. And when the men ran, Verla de Pisa, she went on her hands and knees, and that girl scrubbed that floor and picked up that party. Yeah, I like to give her flowers. We don't know each other, and I don't think we've ever even had a conversation, but it's just something I've always had in my heart. That I believe Verla de Pisa did well by that party. I don't know her, as I said, but I'm just telling you what I feel just looking on. So Mr. Mr. Yearwood went in and there was no problem. This is what Chesterfield is saying. I don't know if Chesterfield knows whether or not there was like a meeting of the exec. I think there is some meeting generally, isn't it? When someone wants to join a party, then they look at everything. Yeah, Diana, that's the thing that I'm not clear about because I remembered, as I said on the show last night, that I remembered that Mr. Dr. Yearwood was welcoming him. This was last week Sunday when they had the meeting in St. John, and he was saying, "Come home, Ralphie." That's what he was saying. So the question that we have to ask is, what would have occurred between last Sunday, and today, Saturday, and why he would, not he, but why the exec would want to. Probably, is there something about Mr. Thorne that we are not aware of? Yeah, right. So APP Wayne Hoyt, you're saying APP. APP, to my understanding, was after UPP. So APP was the second time they contested the election. This is Mr. Reverend Athley's party. After he crossed the floor, he formed his own party, and he had Caswell as one of the senators. Remember that, and they formed a party. After he, by the second election, they merged with Lynette Eastman's party, and they formed APP. So that was afterwards. That much I know, but what I can't remember for sure if it was UPP before. Um, yeah. Yes, yes. PPP, thank you. PPP, yes, it's true. PPP was the party, and Miss Lynette's party was UPP. So they came together and formed APP. Thank you very much. Thank you. Emerson is saying, this nonsense is why the DLP will not win an election for the next 20 years. Too much egos. It is not better to have, is it not better to have a seat in parliament and build from there rather than to suffer another 30-0? Hmm. Um, that's a bold statement to make that they will not win another election for the next 30 years, 20 years. I wouldn't say that. But and we don't know how it's going to turn out. They said it's deferred. We don't know how it's going to turn out. Uh, yeah, and you think it's egos, right? Right. So the PDP, I said PPP, the PDP, guys, the PDP, and then PDP to APP, PDP. Um, Joseph Goodall has said the DLP has now lost quite a bit of campaign financing. Well, we don't know if they have been saving up money. We don't know if they might have a big donor behind them, right? Mark Quinton is saying that the DLP is no different from the BLP. Interesting, Mark. So, Mark, are you saying that you don't think that Mr. Thorne should try to join the DLP or any of them? How will he represent the people if he doesn't? Just a thought. I'm not advocating one way or the other. I'm just asking you, what would be the mechanism that he would use? Mm? Yeah. Uh huh. So the DLP ADGC is making a big mistake by refusing Mr. Thorne. This is crazy. Well, remember, it is deferred. So it's not that he's being refused. He's deferred. It's deferred. Okay. Elaine Rivers says, "Good night, all. Continue to stand with Ralph Thorne." And yes, Elaine, that's one of the reasons that I came on. I believe at this time, Mr. Thorne needs as much support as possible. He says, "I am alone, but I'm not lonely." And I know what it is to make those kinds of decisions. It's a decision that you make in faith. I know people who come on here don't like me to speak about faith, but some people, I would say. But it is a decision of faith, and there is a scripture that he read, which is Proverbs 3 verse 5 to 6, which says, "Trust in the Lord with all of your heart, and lean not to your own understanding." And I'm sure right now, Mr. Thorne will have to trust in the Lord, because if he really believed in his heart that this is something that he had to do, this is where faith comes in, because we don't know what the next thing is going to be. We don't know. Loyal Dart 66. I would like to form his own party. Most people do not want the DLP. But Loyal Dart 66, let me ask you something. Did you see what happened to Joseph Atherley when he tried to form his own party? Did you see that? Do you think that 2 years is enough for him to be able to form a party? And who's going to vote for him? Are you going to vote for him? That's the thing. I spoke with someone who knows about these kinds of things, and he was saying, he would need 30 branches. So he would need, well, maximum 30, but if he could even get, say, 18, so that he could win a government. But are we the people? Are we open to a third party? So to third parties, are we open to that? That's the question. Are we open to it? So we're making these suggestions, but then when the time comes, for us to, to acknowledge and to consider a third party, we don't want to do it, because we are focused on these two parties. But let's be real here with each other. How many of you voted for any third party ever in your life? We love to talk and say these things, but are we going to do it? We probably should make a poll of that to find out how many persons would vote for a third party if Mr. Thorne is leading that third party. That might be a poll. What do you all think? Yeah, party hopping is normal in Barbados, as we were talking when we got off the show last night. The Honorable Mia Motley, that's her path to power. She was hopping from party to party. So it's not uncommon. It's not uncommon, right? What Mr. Thorne is doing is not uncommon. So let's not begin to label him like that, because they've all done it. And Pamela said, "I would think with such an important move like this, I don't think it should be a rush, but one of surety and a concrete foundation." Well, understood, Pamela. But how do you know that he did not sit down and pray about it and got advice about it? We don't know, right? So to us looking on, to you looking on, it might seem rushed, but did he actually sit down and consider the move? Yeah. Joseph Cadogan is saying the BLP is killing us now, which is true. We're trying to give the DLP power, and they are playing this foolishness. Yeah. Judith, you were asking a question. What is your question, Judith? I just see that you said if the DLP doesn't accept him. Judith was saying, Right. So yeah, what happens if the DLP doesn't accept him? What is he going to do? Is it that he's forced to start a party, and will the people support him? Someone is saying here that they're saying that uh, Ronnie Yearwood must move out the way. He and Steve Blackett are making a very serious mistake. Well, we have to, are we going to just blame Ronnie's only one person, Steve Blackett, another, another person, two persons? The executive, they have other members on it. There are other members on the executive. As far as I remember, um, that they have three vice presidents, don't they? Plus all the others. I don't know all the others that make up the executive, but it's not just the two of them. Mm. Well, Aziza is saying, why is this even a thing? 3 years ago, they all were in agreement when the people were poisoned with these jabs. They all need to go. Yes, a lot of these people were in agreement with it. I don't know what Mr. Thorne felt about it, but the reality is that if we are to think like this, we would not, half of the population, we would not have any relationship with. Because remember that there were lots of people that thought that people who did not take the job, that they were very bad for society. So are we going to throw everybody away because they did not support um, Aziz or you or myself in not taking what we said we didn't want to take the job. Um, uh, FX trading is saying utter madness. Hmm. And Rachel Thorne'S is saying I'm reserving judgment. Okay, yeah. Judith Ann is saying, interesting, Judith Ann. If the DLP does not accept him, his chances are slim. He already said that he is not inclined to start a new party. Yeah, that's the thing. What should be his next move? Um, you know, yeah. What Ralph said on Monday, one would not have expected he would move so fast. He should have got a better feel of the current internal dynamics of that party at present. There are too many fractions in that party operating. But Mr. Hoyt, people say, I mean, but there are lots of fractions inside of the Barbados Labour Party. In all parties, there are fractions. It's not something that is common to the DLP. One would say it's not they're not the only party with fractions. Come on, Mr. Thorne walked, he crossed, and there are others who said we're not giving up on that idea. Yeah, expected him to join the D, Patricia Drake's, because it is an established party, so easier to build up. But realistically, to many egos in the D's to accept an outsider to come take over as a leader, well, he would be essentially, according to their constitution, based on what I've learned over the last is that he would become the political leader. It doesn't mean that the president does not exist anymore. Um, but the role of political leader will not be filled because remember it wasn't there, and it doesn't. The role of the president will stand as a president, but there is a role based on what I have heard and learned from those who are, I have to say, my elders in this, is that in politics, is that it is a role to be filled that was not filled. So he comes to fill that role. That's all. And it's no fault of his. He comes, and that is what he comes with. As he would come with whatever his other skills. This is what has happened. So yeah. I believe in-depth discussions need to be had to endure common understanding. You mean by the parties? Well, I guess that's why they're meeting again, right? For um, for in-depth discussion. And I'm sure, we'll be doing that on the show, but I thought that I just personally wanted to come on the show tonight and to hear your thoughts and to, um, you know, just see for your place for you to be able to air your views. The DLP, to my mind, needed him as much as he needs to operate within the confines of a party. Correct. The DLP playing games that will be detrimental to them in the long run. Okay, you think it will be detrimental? I mean, they might know something that you don't know. Loyal Daughter 66. The truth is that they needed him as much as he needs to operate. Yes, so they both needed each other. But yeah, yeah. Somebody saying sometimes big changes take time, so it is sudden. Give it a bit more time. Hmm. Yeah, so the reason is that you will have a political leader and you will have a president. So I mean, it depends on what you want as a group for the party, what the end goal is. So if this is going to help you to get to your end goal, then I believe that there has to be a way for it to work because it's in the Constitution. It's not something new that is being introduced. So it's a matter of finding a way for it to actually work. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a serious decision with long-term implications. What kind of implications you mean when you say long-term implications? But I believe time is of the essence. That's the thing. You've got to move, move, move. And Tyrone is saying sad, sad, sad. Mark Quinton says it shows that the DLP is not about the people. Yeah, okay. And but we don't know how many persons in the DLP feels would have, what the DLP really feels about it. So, we can't just lump everybody together because we don't know. Um, we don't know what they feel. I know the DLP is in catch 29 now, and I don't think they should be there. They should be a rush. Okay. So you felt that his decision was rushed. Okay. Tanya Stevens says they might not trust his intentions. Either way, it doesn't look good on them. Yeah, so that is really the thing. But I think that there must be a way. As I said, it's something that's in the Constitution. It's not something that is a brand new concept that is being introduced. It is a constitution, based on my understanding, that the governs the party. So what is being done is not something that is new. It is not something that Mr. Thorne or somebody outside they say, why don't you try this idea? It is what everybody inside there would have signed on. It's like what governs the party and the structure of the party. Yeah. Mm. Joseph Kodagon. So we're focusing on your thoughts tonight. As I said, I personally want to come on and just to chat with you. I have an hour before my ride comes. So I said, I just finished classes. Let me come on and just chat with you. The DLP is afraid of Mr. Thorne and Kimar Stewart, really. These are the very powerful members who are guaranteed seats for sure. Ooh, okay, that's a heavy one, right? Ray Turney is saying, you all said that you're not political, but yet still you hail up a political person. Hypocrite. I'm not sure who Mr. Turney is. speaking of, I've always, I can only speak for myself. I've always, and for the other panelists on this show, I've always called for an opposition, always. And so I am celebrating the concept of an opposition, whoever it might be. And that's what makes me nonpartisan. So I am nonpartisan. Uh, I'm supporting the concept of an opposition, whoever that opposition is. Yeah. Yeah, Jay is asking if the DLP is being destroyed from inside. I don't know. I don't know. These need to understand that the people ain't forget them. Also remember how, yes, okay, what you think, what they did to Kimar. Okay, so there's that out there. I think it is the elephant in the room. You've got to, there's that thinking that Kimar was unfair as well, right? Hi, Lumumba. Good night. Michael Bellamy said, good night, all opposition. I think you meant opposition. Stay focused. It's a spiritual battle that includes wickedness in high places. That I agree with. And as I said, yeah, and Miss Attorney, as far as I know, you are a politician, and if you are the same person that I know, and you're part of one of the third parties that I helped to promote last election, right? So remember that. All I'm saying is that, we don't hear much of you guys, and there's so many issues affecting us in Barbados, and yet you come on here and you have the strength for others. And what you need to do is to put your strength into the issues that are affecting Barbadians, and probably they might consider you. I think you should really look into that because, Barbadians have been crying out for a voice, for people to, to speak up for them. And this is such an opportunity for third parties to step up. And I am not sure how many step up. I know people like Mr. Scanterbury, Reverend Scanterbury. He speaks up, but in a limited way, and so I don't know much about the others. But it's to find that voice. And don't tell me because you don't have access to traditional media. I'm not using traditional media right now. Ha! So you've got to be creative. And yeah, Berla de Pisa is a politician of caliber. She still has a part to play in the party. Okay, thank you. Good night. Why all of a sudden this new policy was implemented with the Dems? Please, I don't know what is going on. Welcome, Ralph, and get down to business. Okay, so that's your view. I'm not sure which new policy you mean to have meetings. I think Ms. McLean explained that that is a normal procedure. Um, okay, Anderson is saying he's convinced that the executive of the DLP wants its party to remain dead and no longer a party of choice. I think that's what you're saying. Yes, that's the thing, Mark Quinton, is those people that really care about people. And that is why I said on this program that I support the concept of an opposition, because that's what I have been speaking about. I've not changed from that. And, and I will support anybody who cares about the people of Barbados. And you care about the people of Barbados, you stick your neck out, you sacrifice for them, you love this country. And that is what we're looking for. Not trying to get to an office, but that you care about the people of Barbados. And that's what I'm looking for. And that's why I say I will support Mr. Thorne until, right? My support stops when you stop. When he stops, loving Barbados, or I think he doesn't care about the people of Barbados, right? Okay, so that's your belief, Dale. I don't know anything about that. I can't verify that, Dale. That's your belief that you believe Mr. That he's a plant destroying it. I don't know. I can't verify that. That's your thought. I don't know. This deferment is linked to DLP infighting and some executives seeing Ralph Thorne as a Trojan horse. I guess so. I don't know. Oh wow, they want to give they probably want to give him a bush bath. Why would they want to give a bush bath? Oh wow. Yes, right, Tony, you're correct. Those who are hypocrites, they don't live what they talk. You're correct. And and so I would love to see um the the third parties live what they said, what they spoke to the people about in the last election. And I think that that would be great. Why are we thinking that because it's deferred, it's automatically a no? Some people think that way. I mean, it's not a no, it's just deferred. It's just deferred. Oh, wow, interesting. Somebody's saying here that it looks as though the DLP's president, Dr. Yearwood, is not calling the shots, right? Somebody says that Mr. Yearwood was a member of the BLP. I am not in any way pleased with the way he approaches issues. He does not cut it. And in interesting. Yeah, interesting. Okay, all right. Marsha, okay, Marsha Hines. Okay, let me get a link. Hold a minute. Let me see. Uh I why can't I find Marsha's number? Can someone send me Marsha Hines's number? Can somebody send me Marsha? Okay, what I would do, Winston, I'll send it to you. I don't know why I'm not. I should have Marsha's number. Somebody message me with Marsha's number, please. I always like to hear from Marsha. Let me check again. Why don't I have? Hmm. I should have. I should have Marsha Hines's number. Why am I not seeing it in my phone? All right, just give me a moment, guys, and let me just send this link to Winston so that it can be shared. Okay, Winston, this is definitely historic. It's a defining moment in, as somebody said, New Day is saying people should let the process work. So New Day, the process at the moment is this, based on the Constitution, and I'm going by, people who have, who would know. Miss Maxine McLean would know what the Constitution is, don't you think? We also heard from Mr. Glenn Murray on what the Constitution is. Of course, before any of them, we would have heard from Cousin Franklin on what the Constitution is. And I'm from Kemar Stewart, and and I've spoken to past members of the exec. I try to get my facts, and what I've been told is that the process is that if he's accepted, that he will become the political leader, and there is room for that inside the Constitution. So it's not a new process or a new idea that is being presented. Okay, okay, I think I got Marsha's number. Yeah, I have one second. I have Marsha's number. Okay, so I got it here. Thank you, this person who sent it to me. Um, Marsha, I love to chat with Marsha. We don't see eye to eye on different things, but some things. But I believe that my thing has always been let's. Hi, Marsha, I just sent you. My thing is this always is to um, we find we have in common. I don't expect to agree with everybody, and Gelby said the deal, please playing hardball. Judith Ann said, I don't think it will be a no. There is saying, will he be able to operate in a hostile environment? That is something that you have to think about. Will the environment be hostile? See, that's the other part of it. Will it really be hostile? Pamela Edwards says he says it's a process before joining the party. So why are you saying that? But you just said that it was too early. But his process, this might be his process, part of the process. Just my thought. I see Miss Marsha Hines Myrie coming in, and it'd be interesting to hear her take. She's coming in, but my internet is so slow that it takes a little time. I think she's settling in, and I'll hold a minute. She's coming in. 1 second.
Greetings.
Hello, my
How
long
are you?
lost friend. Can you hear me?
I'm good. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you. There's keep speaking. Let me see.
Um, I'm on the train, so it's not a perfect scenario, but like you, I thought it was important to join this conversation. I feel the sense of it being a historical moment in Barbados and one where, we're going to have to ask some questions about our democracy because what we are seeing playing out here is people's ego taking precedence over what we need to save
Hmm.
our country. That is
Hmm.
problematic. And I would have started this discussion on that at some point this week. And like I said, I don't come to the conversation easy. Ronnie is an old school friend of mine. We were on the debate club together, cut our teeth with public speaking together. So I don't sit in conversation like
Let me check. Make sure the others can hear you. Give me a second. Are you hearing her clearly, everybody? Let me just double check on that before we go on because I want to hear what you are saying. Guys, please indicate for me if you're hearing Mrs. Heinz Myrie. Not well, not well. Okay,
oh dear. I don't know
okay.
if I bring the phone closer to my mouth, if that helps.
Yes, let's try that and just speak. I know you're with others in a train, so see if you can speak up a little louder.
Yeah, I tried to move as well. So hopefully that helps.
Yes.
Um, but I was saying that, I don't come to this conversation lightly. Ronnie is an old school friend. We share the same school tie. And so my inclination is to support Ronnie and to be supportive of his bid to try to get an opposition for Barbados because we need an opposition in Barbados. All these individuals that are talking about the checks and balances and our system and that kind of thing, a Westminster system of government like we have does not have any checks and balances if you do not have an opposition party in power.
Mm-hmm.
We have had examples across the Caribbean.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking of St. Vincent, I'm thinking of Grenada. We have seen that this one party that is allowed to coalesce into a dictatorship has
Mm-hmm.
not been healthy across the Caribbean. I think that Ronnie unfortunately did not use the trust that the people of Barbados placed in him to good use. He didn't. He squandered the trust and the position that was given to him. And so what we have now is that there are a number of people in Barbados who are unhappy with Ronnie's performance and who are asking for the space that they gave to Ronnie, they're asking to be space back. And I think if we are going to make a critique of Mia Motley such that we say that, she's a dictator, she has forgotten people, she has forgotten the importance of service, we can't see the same thing playing out on the other side and not call that same thing that thing.
Okay.
It is the first time in the history of politics in Barbados, Marcia, where I have seen somebody who comes out with opposition leadership, just opposition leadership. And it really makes me wonder if this individual has the capacity to be able to lead us at any other level. Ralph Thorne has given us an opportunity
Correct.
to elect the party of Arabara. I do not understand why that should be a conversation. The party of Arabara was a democratic party. It was a party for everyone. There are several people that have left the Arabara himself left the Barbados Labour Party and founded the Democratic Labour Party. There have been several, Ronnie himself has done the same thing. So I do not understand. I stood up in a train station in the middle of Toronto today waiting for the outcome of this vote, jubilant, excited that we were getting an opportunity to take our country back. Then to hear that the vote has been deferred. This is not time to defer. This is time to rally the party of our barrow. We don't have time on our side. If we are serious about contesting the election, next election in Barbados, the party of Arabara has to select and give itself an opportunity. And let's be honest, even if we start today, even if we start now, we are only going to come out to the next election with 5 to 7 seats at most. It takes time to rally a political party together. I counted to Marstra in St. John. If with a Ralph Thorne, Michael Lashley connection, you can count that Philip North. I would love, we got to find a safe seat for Ralph Thorne because Christchurch, where he is now, may not be one that turns with the tide, right? These are the kind of conversations that the DLP should be having tonight, not conversations about whether they will take back on or not. There's no other option. All of the people in the room tonight are what my granny used to call dry cows. Dry cows don't make milk. In other words, none of them ain't got a seat in Parliament. None of them ain't got a way to unlock the $150,000 subvention that the DLP desperately needs. The only body that has that right now is Ralph Thorne. What could the conversation possibly be about? I, I am disappointed to see the level of political analysis coming out of the party of Sarah Murray. I challenge anybody to tell me anything because I don't know my shoulders broad and I don't feel. When I say something, it's how I feel, and that's why I stand by.
Yeah. As you said, you keep saying the party of Errol Barrow. Tomorrow night, we're actually showing the movie again in St. John. And this was our plan. That's the thing about it. It wasn't planned with any Kimar in mind or anything. I tell you the truth, Marsha. Of course, people are not going to believe that. But this is just what, like a divine thing. It's like what has happened with our show. And as you're talking about it, I think more and more for me, we the whole and I concur with what you're saying, and the whole thing of us needing an opposition. And as I said, it's just a concept of an opposition and an opportunity that is there. And I think that is why one of the reasons I came on, because I know that a lot of people would have been a bit disappointed.
Mhm, mhm. But
So
at the
just
end of
ask
the
if
day,
you're gonna run. If you're gonna run, if run.
no,
So
but I live in Canada now, so I can run. But what I will do is if I see people coalescing who I think are serious about the future of Barbados, I will support. I definitely will support. But I live in Canada. I have no desire to come back to Barbados right now. So the question of me being a candidate is completely off of the table. But I do want to see Barbados as an opposition, and I'm willing to work for that, right? Again, St. John is not a question. If the people want Kimar Store, get on Kimar Store and let me get on the road. It's not a question. We have moved away in Barbados from politics being about serving the people. The people are the ones in Barbados with power, not the politicians. The world over, we are seeing that question come up over and over again. Who has the power? Who has the power? The people of Barbados are
People.
speaking. If they want Kimar, give them Kimar. That's not, it is not conversation, right? We need to find
I agree.
five
That's what I said.
we need to find five seats and we need to focus on winning them. And the five may bring in eight, let's say, right? Because we got, the boundaries and Barbados are close and that kind of thing. And if you run a good political campaign, you may be able to bring in somebody on somebody's coattails and that kind of conversation. Right now, egos have to be put aside because where I would put Ralston right now is in St. Philip West. And I know that, David Eswick might feel a way
Um,
about that.
yeah,
But
St. Philip
but
West. That's
I would
where
say that
right now, that's where if Lynette
Kim
runs again,
McConney,
her party,
Kim
Lynette will
McConney,
be there with the APP, and there's also
don't let me talk
um,
about Lynette. Let me talk about the fact that is where Kim McConney is, the minister that responsible for the IED debacle, the minister that responsible for Rob
ah,
Hill, Brighton Griffith, on Ellerslie being shut week after week over
you
environmental
got it,
issues. We went up
you
there
got it.
by the court. So I would put Ralph Thorne to deal with Kim McConney and David Eswick. I don't necessarily have anything against them, but right now we need a safe seat for Ralph because we're looking for 5 seats to bring
Mm,
home. This thing is bigger than the egos of men. This thing is about Barbados and taking back our country. We gotta get serious. It
yeah,
hurt me to see what went on in Barbados. It hurt me. You asking me if I will run, but they might not take me back either. But don't forget, I crossed to the VIP, so I put in my application. No, they might not take it either. That is not the image of the Barrows party that we want to go forward with. If you was in the party and make a little error, or at one point you think you move to something else, you will not move back. We should be allowed to do that. We should celebrate that because rest and believe that if it tied with term and me and Motley had to take back Ralph on, she'd have taken him back. She was
yeah.
taking him back if she was in the position that the GLP is in tonight. It is about politics, it is about power, and the best that we can hope for is where politics and power meet the will of the people because the people are the ones with with
Mhm.
with the most to lose, and the people should be the ones at the end of the day that the decisions for Barbados lie with.
Mm.
Barbados hard. Barbados hard. You understand? You
Mm.
got women, children in Barbados suffering, men too. I don't know who in Barbados right now is benefiting from the government. You gotta stop the infighting. You gotta stop the
Yeah,
infighting. People's
yeah.
egos cannot make
Egos.
us leave our country.
Oh,
Cannot.
somebody said here, Kenty McCullen is saying that you use the plural pronoun on at least 6 occasions, and they want to know if you're a member of the DLP, and if so, which faction?
I was. I'm not a member of the DLP right now, but I am like you. I am excited by the option of having an opposition. So
Yes.
right now, we that I am talking about is the we in Barbados that recognize that if we leave Barbados as a one-party state, we are going to end up with a country that we do not recognize. So the we that I speak of right now is not a democratic Labour Party we, but it is we, the people of Barbados, who are right-minded and national and understand that we need an opposition voice in Barbados. All we can sing Francine and she, even when you
Yeah.
got a quiet church, you just got alto, you just got bass, you just got everybody don't sing Francine and she the same way. In Barbados, all of a sudden now, if you do not sing from the hymn, seek the same exactly as the body next to you, they ain't got a place for you. That
Mm-hmm.
can't be the Barbados for 2024. It cannot be.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, and I'm like you know, people. I'm not a member of the DLP. They say that I am, but that's the truth is the truth. It's not about what they say; it's what is fact. But I'm committed to an opposition in Barbados right now. It is
Mhm.
very necessary in order for us to keep our democracy. And if you love Barbados, really, and I think that's what I hear coming from you, Marsha, is
Got it?
that if it was an ASS inside there, you know, oops, I should have the Christians won't kill me. But if it was a whoever inside of there, right, we would what would happen? We, you know, for me, I would be supporting them, hoping that is somebody of sense. But you know what I'm saying is that we have to be committed to the idea, the concept of an opposition. I don't know those opposition senators. I've seen the work of Trista Watson, and she's amazing. Anybody thinking that that woman should not be there don't know, you know. I mean, she has been working on behalf of Barbados. It's like, for example, if you were here and they put you up as opposition, why would we even have anything to say? Look at the work you've already done on behalf of the voiceless in Barbados. And I see Trisha Watson like that, and I talk about you all the time. And so I don't have a
Barbados is Barbados is a very interesting place. Barbados, we stopped teaching civics in Barbados in the 1970s. We
problem.
stopped teaching civics, and civics is what helps a person to understand the political process, how they can be involved in the political process, and how people can use politics for their advantage. There's a
Hmm.
reason why we stopped teaching civics in Barbados in the 1970s. There are a lot of people in Barbados who do not understand how politics works. They do not understand their own place in the political process. And so it is very hard to fight on behalf of Barbadians. It really is difficult. So, sometimes you have to be willing to stand alone and then to have the very people that you're standing for curse your state. It takes a lot of fortitude to be involved in social justice in Barbados. And I think that we are at the point now in Barbados where that has to change.
Hmm.
And if I don't agree with everything that you do on your show, I think you know that. I don't think that's secret.
Hmm.
But I think the one thing that I love about your show is that you are educating people about the political process, about things like marches and the screening that you're doing tomorrow. All of that is valuable and important political action, right? I think because of this show, the diaspora, many people around the world now have a view of Barbados that we did not have before. Because all of us cannot be singing from the hymn sheets of
Correct.
Myanmar and the Barbados Labour Party, right? And so I think we need to continue to build that so that people in Barbados can join the movement to save themselves in a way that makes sense. This is
Hmm.
not about a t-shirt when people come home to ask for a vote. This is not about getting $500 for the vote. All of these are things that we have to help Barbadians see disenfranchise them. You get
Hmm.
$500 to vote. We end up with a 30 love government, and you in work sites, we get the 30 love government.
Hmm.
We got to educate people to see that
Correct.
even if you pay for that vote, but you keep a job, you can feed your family, that is what you should want from the election. Because the people that give you the $500, they don't look back at you, they don't care about you. And there are a lot of people who have have lost that discernment about the political process and how they fit into it. So there's work to be done. And what you are doing is important work. Like I said, and we got to continue to build across Barbados. You see, Caswell Franklin should get a national honor in Barbados.
Yes.
That he started in the Senate and the work that he continues on your show. I'm listening to Young Key Maestro and I'm gaining an appreciation for him as an individual who can not only understand how our economy works, but to be able to explain it in simple terms that people in the world can understand.
Yes.
We need a lot more of that.
Yes, yes. And that's the thing. And I mean, I tell you something. I'm able to come on here and speak, about the DLP constitution and all that. Took me 2 weeks ago. I knew nothing about that. So can you imagine, Marsha, how Barbadians are learning? Everywhere I go, people come and they tell me, "Oh, thank you for that show. I learned so much." Because one time this kind of process would not happen. And so we need this to continue. But
Yeah,
yeah.
well, the other thing, somebody here is saying in the chat that we teach social studies. Let's be clear. Social studies and civics are not the same thing. I used to teach social studies in Barbados. So I can tell you, social studies and civics are not the same thing. If you go into any secondary school now and you go into any fifth one class, you ask that fifth one class how the government of Barbados function, I guarantee you not one of them children can answer you. And not
Mhm.
only have I taught it at level of secondary school, but when they come to uni, we used to be getting them in the classes up there. You know how to fill those gaps in because they're not taught. Or history in Barbados, who came up in is who the same Arabara is, Bradley Adams, the formation of the DLP. Not also we don't teach in school in Barbados. I the first I had a class where I brought in a tax form,
Mhm.
right? I brought in the application for the library, application for the polyclinic. Those are things that are not embedded in any social studies syllabus in Barbados. But those are the things that people need to live and understand. You tell me the classroom in Barbados today that has taught children in Barbados how to get the number. You tell me the class in Barbados that explains the importance of an ID card, birth certificate, where to go to get them, how to get them. You, Marcia, do a poll, go in town and ask the
Mm.
average Bajan what those documents mean. Like telling you, they don't know.
It's
Ask
true.
the average Bajan how to log on to Barbados Revenue Authority to fill out the tax form. They don't know. Social studies and civics are not the same thing. I stand by that. I stand by it. And there's a reason that we took out those components from the syllabus of Barbados because we do not want an engaged citizenry. We want a citizenry that, like I said, we could go get a shirt to and we can play calypso and bring somebody to, and I'm not, I don't have nothing against Rick and Peter Ram and people that make
Mhm.
their money around political season. I have no problem with them. But that cannot be the substance of a political meeting. But that's what we got now because people don't have the education and the understanding to want more. And that is why we are in the position that we are in tonight with this 30 love foolishness twice in Barbados. And this is why
Mhm.
it is so important for the Democratic Labour Party to gather itself. I am disappointed with the level of political analysis and maneuvering by the party of
Mhm.
Arab. It's not what I'm accustomed to. It isn't. They don't want him to
Yeah.
come. See, David Thompson stepped away. You remember David Thompson? I think it was like Michael. I can't remember who the other player was. Maybe Sandel Stewart. Were in a battle for the leadership of the DLP at one point. To live
Mhm.
to fight another day. David Thompson walked away. But when the time was right for him to become the Prime Minister of Barbados, he still became the Prime Minister of Barbados.
Mhm.
I am not
Mhm.
saying that one should resign from the party, but
Mhm.
if the people gave you an opportunity and you have not corralled the people around you, the only body you corralling around you is a few people in George Street, you are drunk with opposition power. That doesn't get us to where we need to get to because the rest of Barbados is not coalescing. Somebody tell me today to say that the Prime Minister of Barbados all of a sudden look real old in 2 days. Ralph Thorne did that. Nobody
Mhm.
else thinks he do that up to now. That is what we need. We gonna keep our eye on the prize and not look at the
Yeah, I don't know if it's I'm the one who's stuck. Can you guys hear me? Um, Can you guys hear me? Is anybody hearing me? I'm not hearing Marsha anymore. She's probably passing through an area where I guess she's in the train. Um, okay, so she's stuck, not me. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so she's stuck. Well, guys, this was a quick one. I'm just here talking with you till my ride comes because we still have. I was supposed to go and type out the program for tomorrow. As you know, we are going to be on the road tomorrow, and I'm telling you, this is going to be something that is going to be discussed at the roadside parliament tomorrow. As you know, I'm hoping that Marsha will come back on because she was speaking some very good things tonight. But what I want to do is to remind you about tomorrow. Let's meet in St. John. Let's meet. We do the motorcade, and let's talk about this tomorrow. Let's talk about this tomorrow at this event, the roadside parliament and the opposition motorcade. And this is a non-partisan movement. Um, that we are having, and so come out and share your thoughts, and we don't all have to agree, but it is something that's happening in the nation, and we're going to talk about it on the roadside tomorrow. We're talking about Errol Barrow's party, and we're showing Errol Barrow's movie tomorrow. So we want to come out to talk about that tomorrow, and just to talk. Let's come down to St. John tomorrow. There's a motorcade that is going from Westburn Mall, which is the corner of Bacters Road and Westbury Road. And we are gathering at 2:30, as we said earlier. And then we go off to Gall Hill Hard Court, okay? And that's where we're going to be tomorrow. So come on down and let's talk about this. You're going to have Mr. Castle Franklin there. Dr. Ferdinand Nichols is going to be there, and your boy Kimar Stewart will be there. And they're going to give their take on this, I'm sure, because I love what Marsha is saying. It's, this is the Errol Barrow party, and we're showing the movie tomorrow. There, we do have a 1 hour of entertainment by our young people. There's dancing, and they're going to sing some calypso, the little ones, and so on. And then we're going to show the movie, and then we have a non-partisan discussion on this whole issue. Because there are lots of people who don't even believe that Mr. Thorne should be in should want to go over to the DLP. You can come and say what your thoughts are. We have an open mic tomorrow. We have an open mic. Come and share your thoughts. An open mic tomorrow. Yeah. And we say come out. Let's hear your thoughts tomorrow. Let's hear what it is that um, what your thoughts are. Yeah. Let's hear that tomorrow. Yeah. And so that's tomorrow at the roadside parliament. Let's hear your thoughts tomorrow. Okay. All right. So come out and let's chat. Tomorrow. Doesn't seem like Marsha is going to be able to get back in, and I will chat with you until. Oh, she's coming in. I'll chat with you. Okay. When my thing. Yeah. Right in, you can speak once you don't hug the mic. And once you don't hug the mic, and you know why I say that. You know that too. All right. So once you understand that others will need to speak as well. Yeah. So once you understand that, then you can speak. Okay. Yeah. Very important. And too what I'm talking about. Okay. Miss Mary is back in. Um, yes. I was telling them sitting here chatting. I'm so glad you came on because I didn't even know what your perspective was on this. But it's good to hear your voice, a daughter of the soil. You're not in Barbados, but I can see the concern on your face. And Marsha, I live so that there would be an opposition in Barbados. I live so that democracy can be preserved in this beautiful country that I've now called my home. And that's why I do what I do. People like you and I, we don't do things because of money and all of that. We do it for love of country. And I
Mhm.
saw what you did for the young girls. So those who don't know, GIS. This woman took the GIS issue on her back, y'all. She took it on her back. Yeah.
And the last comment that I saw before I got knocked off is somebody saying the DLP is vexed because they don't like Thorne's choices for the Senate. Again, I'm going to say
They
the
don't
people
like
of
what? So repeat that because there was an announcement when you were speaking.
I'm sorry, somebody said that the DLP is unhappy with Mr. Thorne because they don't like the choices he made for the Senate. They
Mhm.
wanted to be involved in choices for the Senate. And again, I am going to say the people of Barbados, who are the ultimate power holders in Barbados, like the choices, was the
Mm,
issue. The DLP executive is not, they don't have the power to elect an opposition in Barbados. The people do. And it's the people, I nowhere have I been following commentary in Barbados. I've heard anybody say that the two choices are not acceptable, that they're not good, that they're not happy with the choices. So how the DLP executives could be unhappy? This is the thing that got me so confused right now because the party of Alabama that I know to be honest, two political parties, strategically strong,
mhm,
able to make the political analysis and connect with the public of Barbados for the first time since I have known about DLP politics. I feel as though the party is disconnected from the opinions and the desires of the people on the ground. As a problem because at the end of the day, it's the same investment that we making right now against the DLP. If the people are happy with the choices was the problem, the people are the ones with the ultimate power. And this is why I'm saying if this was a move to get us an opposition and to secure the interests of Barbados, Ronnie would table his resignation. I'm not saying that he shouldn't be ambitious. I'm not saying that he shouldn't have any of the desires he has tonight. That's not what I'm saying. But you have to be able to read the political tea leaves.
mhm,
And the political tea leaves right now are not with Ronnie. Stop dividing the party. Let the party coalesce around the person who has the most chance right now to gain the hearts of Barbadians, but also give us a seat in Parliament
mhm.
so that we can rally the party and form an opposition. Any conversation that we're having right now that is not the basis of the conversation, we are having the wrong conversation.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. I just, Marsha, as I will just reiterate the possibilities of. I was just elated, and I'm very hopeful person. I'm a person of faith, and I believe it's going to be for our good, because we are going to have, and we have. I'm speaking it. Change is here, and we already have an opposition. As I tell you, I don't know those two opposition center, and me tell you the truth, my name is business. You understand what I'm saying? I trust that this man is going to make the right decision, and we will hold him accountable. What about that? Let's do things different. We love you, but we're gonna hold you accountable. As we do with all of our leaders, we hold them accountable, and nothing is wrong with that. Yeah. And someone here
I,
is
I,
saying that
I, I,
someone is saying here that these folks have an agenda. All that glitters is not gold with this show.
my agenda is to get an opposition in Barbados. That is my agenda.
Your
Um,
agenda is what?
away from politics, position in Barbados. The government industrial school issue is not done because right now the government of Barbados
Okay. Yeah, you are breaking up. She's on the train, so
So,
um, yeah. I'm not sure what Adrian Hines is saying, but I'll move on from that because the show will be fine until
so
we.
with an
Because remember,
occupation,
you're breaking up really badly, Marsha. I don't know if you can hear. Probably you
it's
passed.
okay.
You were going.
It's all right, Marcia. If I'm sorry, can you hear me now? If not, I will just
Yes, hearing
I'll
now.
take my leave here if you can. But I was saying that my one of my remember with the government we have two young ladies who have a judgment in a court document, but the government has not done anything to turn that judgment into action, and they won't. So a part of my investment in an opposition is somebody who will have the political will to move
Mm,
that case forward for those two young girls and all the young girls like them in Barbados. Because remember when we started with those two young girls was a whole set of survivors of that residential school came forward to tell their stories. So the position to continue the advocacy. So that's my agenda. That's my agenda. I don't live in Barbados anymore. I have absolutely no desire or purpose to come back to Barbados to live. I,
mm.
I
You're sticking again, Marsha.
don't
Marsha, what we
want to
can
live in
do,
Barbados.
uh, Marsha,
I
I'm
don't want
going
to
to
live in
invite
Barbados.
you
Right?
on
I don't.
if you're able to come on, God willing, on Monday evening. I want to invite you on as a guest on the show, and we want to continue to discuss this because I'm not. Tomorrow we're going to be look out for us. We're going to be in St. John, but I want to hear what you're saying, and I want you. I would love if you would continue where Miss McLean left off. Let's look at some of the issues that we want Mr. Thorne to really bring before the parliament and so on, and like for example the GIS girls and those kinds of things. So let's talk about some of those things because we know he's already the leader of the opposition, and let's kind of air this out some more. I love to chat with you because you have done this work. You have done this work, and for me, you're one of the heroes of Barbados. I know you say Mr. Franklin should be a hero, but we should celebrate him. We should also celebrate you. And honestly, that's what I feel. But thank you so much, and we will chat on Monday, my dear. Okay, God bless you. Bye bye. Yeah, the feed is not the best there, but that's fine. Okay, now what I want to say to people is that one of the good things about this is that as I came on, I put up people's comments. I was doing that before Marsha came on, because all opinions matter here, and we don't need to be rude to each other in the chat. Let people speak unless it's a case where people are really, that we will remove them if it is a case where they are being distracting or it is that they are being, abusive. We've had people come on here and threaten us, that what's going to happen at the march. And, we've had those things. So then, but allow people to express themselves. We are over 260 something thousand, and then we have people in the diaspora who have different views. Marsha came on here tonight, and Marsha and we don't see eye to eye. I tell you on certain things. I tell you. I look in my WhatsApp, and the last conversation Marsha and I had, Marsha was upset with me about a show. So this what I'm saying is that listen, allow people to express themselves. Please, this is a democracy. Allow people to express themselves, and you can come down to St. John and you can take that microphone. It's a roadside parliament. And as I said, to my friend there, don't hog the mic and talk forever on the microphone. Give other people a chance. And once you can do that, and we operate as a democracy, all views matter, all voices matter, and we should be able to have that conversation even on the chat. So allow people. There are people who are not for the DLP. There are people who are for the DLP. There are people who don't believe that Mr. Thorne should go to the DLP at all, and they don't want to support Mr. Thorne anymore if he goes to the DLP. There are people who are saying yes, go to the DLP. There are people who are down the middle. There are people who are saying he has an agenda in going to the DLP. There are people who say this he's a savior to the DLP. Why can't we all exist? Why can all opinions matter? Why are we doing that to each other? Let's not tear apart each other. One thing we have in common, I would hope, as a Barbadian, as a loyal son and daughter, is that we would want to see democracy reign in Barbados. Right? I think that that is what we would like. We would like to see democracy reign in Barbados. We'd like to see people being able to make informed choices. They're educated enough about the political system that they can make an informed choice. And that is what this show is all about. We come on here and we agitate. Yes, we educate. We motivate. Right? We mobilize. That's what we do on the Marcia Week show. And we are agitating for democracy. We're agitating, we are mobilizing people to have a voice in this country. That's what we're doing. And all opinions matter. We listen, and that people are able to make up their minds. By the time we're finished the show, when election time comes about, people can vote for whatever letter that they want to vote for. Whatever the letter that they want to vote for. I don't care. I don't care. And some of you might say you don't want to vote, and guess what? That is your business. There are people who say, oh, you must vote, and others say they don't want to vote. I am not forcing nobody to do anything. All I am saying is that let there be democracy in Barbados. Let us never have a situation where there is a 30-0 ever again. Let us not have that in this country. Those are the things that we are saying. We love Barbados enough to say, let there be democracy. And there will be, once we have the whole 260,000 of us have anything to do with it, there will be democracy in Barbados. That is what we're saying. And give the people the chance to say what it is they want to say. And Joseph, you're saying, please bring in Kimar. Kimar has the link, and if he wants to come on, he can come on. All right? So nobody is, you're repeating it. So just so you know, nobody's holding him hostage. I am just chatting until my ride comes. All right? Yeah. So so here we are. Yeah. Yes. Yes, Mr. Alvin Brown, welcome back. As somebody says, we are having a conversation. We ain't fighting. Welcome back, sir. I did miss you a little bit. And I did miss you, sir. I did miss you. I said I didn't see you. I wonder if you were okay. So it's good to see you back. On this show, all opinions matter, and we can discuss it. I know some good friends of mine who are very upset with Mr. Thorne for going to the DLP. Then I have some others who are very excited about it. They feel that this is how we're going to get the democracy. And, this is how the opposition is going to really build. And then there are others who say, you should form a new party. Then there are others, they just don't like the DLP. And others, they don't even know what to think. So let us all views content, right? Let all ideas content. That was the phrase I was looking for, refreshment. Mm. Caroline, I hear your question and I understand the question. So Caroline is saying, is this an established party for the next election, or are you making sport and not serious? Just talking, not and complaining. No, it's not. We're not a party, and that's quite fine. We are educating people about governance in Barbados and how it works. And if this is your first time, you might not have experienced the kind of education that happens on this show with our panelists. And we invite you down to the Roadside Parliament tomorrow in St. John, where the education continues. So there we do a lot of agitation. I'm not sure if you heard me earlier, but we do a lot of agitation, and we educate and we mobilize and we motivate Barbadians. And so we believe that through this education that people will be able to make informed decisions and not be running behind a color and just saying that, well, I've always voted this way. And a big question too is that why is it that everybody has to be pushing a party? Why does it have to be an established party? No, it's not an established party. It is to give information so that people can decide on what it is that they want to do as it relates to the elections and politics in Barbados. So you're informed. And I myself, actually, Caroline, has been educated. You might already know a lot of these things. I've been educated since I've been on here. And when you said just complaining, no, we're not just complaining. We've seen several bills that have been pushed back. We've seen deadlines for the Trident ID removed. We've seen so many things. The Child Protection Bill, we have, rallied against that, and we've seen them put it back and brought it to the public to have some discussions with the public. And it was, we saw that happen, and that wasn't they had planned to do that, but they had to do it after the show, and not just the show, but others. Lumumba Batson, who comes on, with Burning Spear, and Lumumba and Bongo Lights, and lots of different podcasts. We've used that to see change in this country, and we're seeing change. And so it's more than just talking. Now today we had some meetings. I'm talking about healthcare, and you will soon hear about some of the plans that we have for healthcare. So it's not just complaining, okay? That's one of the things. We're action people, but I hope you, Caroline, you will come and be part of the action. All right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. As Joseph Connon said, it's the 60 minutes of the Caribbean, right? Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hi Isis, I'm here just hanging out with my people, and tonight, and just I thought that people needed to air out how they felt about different things, so I am on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I am here, right? And so yeah. Somebody says, what is Alfred saying? Carolyn Frankie, we are the opposition, giving help from at home and in the diaspora. Yes, 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 at home. Yeah, and the VR says, speaking out about injustice is not complaining. Yeah, that's okay, because especially if Caroline has not been on here before, I can understand her asking the question. Yeah, yeah, and Thelma, I believe that change is already here. I'm holding on to that one. I'm holding on to that one. I know that I'm at peace. Whichever decision Mr. Thorne makes, I'm at peace and not. Yeah, there we're not going to try to here to make anybody. So I say that it's important that all views contend and all ideas contend, all opinions contend. It's a democracy, and it's good to hear what the people think. And criticisms, also important. 'Cause that is how we're going to grow. People have written to me and they told me a couple of things. They know who they are, and I have tried to change as much as I can. Yeah. Somebody was asking what is the agenda of the show. The agenda of the show is to agitate, to motivate, to mobilize. Yeah, it's mobilization, agitation, education, right? Motivation. That is, and we want to see a better Barbados and a better Caribbean for that matter, a better world. And so that's what we use our time to do, and we do it free of cost. Yeah, yeah. So, folks, how many of you coming out tomorrow? Who coming out tomorrow? How many of you are coming out tomorrow? The roadside parliament and opposition motorcade. Who is coming on tomorrow? Who's coming out tomorrow? Listen, don't let it be me and the truck. Mr. Franklin Kimar and Dr. Ferdinand. It can't be the four of us out there. Huh? Yeah. So come tomorrow, grab the mic. It's an open mic. It's a roadside parliament. You're not just going to come and you're going to hear a whole lecture. You're going to hear from, Kimar Stewart, from Cousin Franklin, Dr. Ferdinand. Come out, man. And we've been talking. Let us hear from you. Right? Yeah? Let us hear from you. Let us hear from you. Zaire is asking if Mr. Thorne could come on the show. If Mr. Thorne is listening, we would love for Mr. Thorne to come on the show. You all want him to come on the show? If he's listening, the truth is I don't know Mr. Thorne personally. People are messaging me like though I know. I don't know Mr. Thorne personally. Right? I don't know Mr. Thorne personally at all. So I wish he would, if he's listening. Yeah, anybody who wants to see Mr. Thorne on the show? If you want to see Mr. Thorne on the show, write in the chat. I will copy the chat and send to him. How many of you want? How many of you want to see Mr. Thorne on the show? Who want to see Mr. Thorne on the show? Okay, Anthony Oliver saying he should come on the show. Okay, all these people saying he should come on the show. Who else thinks he should come on the show? Who else thinks he should come on? Yes. Okay. Oh, somebody's writing in caps. I want to see Mr. Thorne on the show. Well, you all contact him and tell him to come. Yvonne Clark says, I do. I want to see him on. Emerson Bob. Listen, Mr. Thorne, if you're listening, you see how many people wanting you on the show? YouTube users say, I want him to come on. Okay. Sandra Miller said, yes. Yes. Cogita Insight says, yes, invite him. Oh, Mervyn Marcos says, I greeted him in Sky Mall on Thursday. Well, Mervyn, I don't know if you have his ear. Can you get him on the show? Tracy Barrow says, yes. Wayne White says, it would be nice to have him on the show to answer the tough questions from this loyal opposition. A real public, yes, a real public interview, because I know you all going to be putting questions in the chat. Rachel Thorne'S said yes, because he coming. This is the opposition, Yes, ISIS is saying yes. Listen, we getting that. Justin says yes. They want to see him on the show. And listen, you see how many people? I want to see Mr. Thorne on the show. I'm going to edit this here and try to get it to him. I'm going to edit this part of this. He should come on the show. Mr. Thorne, come on the show and tell us your vision for Barbados. Zaire is giving me the fist. I think that fist says yes. FX Trading says yes. Sharon Banfield says yes. Wayne McD Austin says yes. Jay is saying, I want to see Mr. Thorne. Mr. Thorne needs to be on the show, they're saying. Yes, we want him. I want a meeting in his constituency too. Okay. Yes, bring him, Oswald said. Really? I want to see him on the show. All right, I'm going to get, he should. Alvin Brown even say, Alvin Brown, our friend Alvin Brown, who normally defers with everybody, he's saying, okay, Alvin, I know you would have some tough questions for Thorne, and that's good. Oh, Wayne Hart is saying we do not interview these people who present themselves to say, yes, sir. Yes, you got it, Wayne. That's the thing about it. Let us, the people, talk to them. Let us talk to them ourselves. That is it. I love this. You see why I love you all? Eh, yes, I like that concept. That's me, that's it. Paula Haynes says we need him on the show and we need him as opposition leader. Somebody says absolutely. Rob Thorne should come on the show sooner rather than late. And then it says, would be a pleasure to have him. I'm going to be troublesome, right? I'm going to get my editor to edit off this section and get the powers that be to send it to him. Okay. I would love to see Mr. Thorne on the show. People saw me out at the parliament and they think that I know him. I had to be telling a couple of people today because they want me to introduce him to me. I, I met him for the first time and had a conversation in a group. You understand what I'm saying? So I have never met him until at the parliament. Okay? I've never met him. I've spoken to him by phone, but I've never met him, right? Cynthia Thorpe said, good night. He should, right? He's on Brass Stacks Sunday tomorrow on VMB with Crystal Howell. Good. Mervyn Morris says Ralph Thorne is good for Barbados. It's a public call for Mr. Thorne to face the loyal opposition. Richard Mayer said Mr. Thorne make his move because he have conscience. The rest of people in BAP don't. They are popes. I don't know. They said put him in the hot seat. Oh wow, the loyal opposition has spoken. So Ralph Thorne, come on the show. Decision made. They said invite Mia too. You think she would come? Yeah. And then we would just ask her the question straight. Let the people know filters, you know? Yes, okay. So I think we've established that that they are asking everybody here so far. Some final one. I think the A's have it. So everyone prepare your questions. Oh, I love you. You must be a teacher. Let's prepare the questions for Mr. Thorne in faith that Mr. Thorne is going to come on the show. How about that? Huh? Let's prepare because this way we sure can get the questions on. And the way we'll set it up is to make sure that he is speaking directly to you and we don't have our panelists are not, that we don't take up, myself and the panelists don't take up a lot of his time. We want to make sure that we break that barrier and that he's speaking directly to you. Okay? How about that? Let's try that and see if that works. If we bring me up, we want 2 days. Well, you know what? Those of you who are listening from the government, I know you listen, you're there too. We would love to have the Prime Minister on the show as well. Yeah, we have the leader of the opposition. Why we can't have the Prime Minister? Yes, okay. All right. So, folks, this is where I sign off. I have work to do for tomorrow. Uh, Somebody says, if Mia was smart, she would try to right the wrongs voiced in this show. Correct. And while we're at it, let us invite Mia and Ronnie. That will be a real town hall meeting. Yes. That is great. I've been doing the Marcia Week show for a while. I didn't just start. It's almost 3 years that we've been doing the Marcia Week show. And I have invited Mr. Dr. Ronnie Yearwood on the show. I haven't seen him as yet, but I'm sure he knows he has an open invitation. Yeah, 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 yeah. So prepare your questions. I'm serious. We're gonna try. We're going to try to get him on. I'm going to get those who have his ear. Um, yeah, we're going to get those who have his ear to help him to get on. Yeah. Yes. How about that? Look at what Mervyn is saying. This is what we don't get this kind of thing in Barbados, only when it's election, and even then. Me and Martin Robson debate on the issues affecting Barbados right now. Oh my lord, that would be sweet, wouldn't it be? Wouldn't it be? Yes, heat, heat, heat. You're making me laugh, but I love you all, and I'm so glad I came on. Yes. Now, Wayne Hoyt. Wayne Hoyt is a big follower of the Marcia Week Show. He is one a loyal follower from way back in 2022 when we had those third parties were coming on to my show. I had a show and then I just had third parties coming on. So those who are coming on here calling me hypocrite and saying that, I'm pushing the DLP, they know in themselves that it is not true. They know in themselves that it's not true. So, but I had a show with the third parties, and people were coming in with questions of the third parties. You remember that? And I would come on free of cost, open up my laptop free of cost, and had the all the third parties on the show. So it's nothing. It's nothing new. Yes, I'm glad I came on too. I'm glad I came on. Yes, Alvin, we're happy that you're back, Alvin. Um, yes, yes. All right, folks. So I'm going as I have to continue my work for tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be a big day. And listen, come out to the motorcade tomorrow. Come out to the motorcade and get grab that mic at the end of the movie and let us hear from you. Let us hear from you tomorrow. Let us hear your thoughts tomorrow. We have been talking a lot. Let it be a true roadside parliament tomorrow. Let us hear from you. Let's hear your thoughts tomorrow. So this is where I sign off. And I came on to be on for 1 hour and it's almost 2 hours. Bye bye here. All right. And take care of yourself. Don't worry. Say your prayers tonight and keep hope alive. It's going to work out. Everything is going to work out. God is on our side. Stay strong, people. Stay strong. And we're going to try to get Mr. Thorne on, okay? God bless you and have a wonderful